Texas Stadium in Irving. It is the first round of the UIL State High School Playoffs. Tonight, it's the champions of District 7-5A, Euless Trinity Trojans, and the runners-up from 8-5A, Irving MacArthur Cardinals. Good evening, everyone. Brian Briscoe and Bob Berry to bring you all the action tonight as the teams have made their way through a long high school season and now on to the first round of the playoffs here from Texas Stadium. These two teams certainly no strangers to each other. This is the 11th meeting between Trinity and MacArthur, dating all the way back to 1970. Trinity leading the all-time series 7 wins to 3, but it has been the Cardinals series the past 3 games, as they have won twice last year and again in 1984. And of course, everyone remembers the bi-district game right here almost a year ago to the date when MacArthur beat Trinity by a score of 16-7 after beating them earlier in the season 22-20. An interesting matchup of how the teams got here. The Trojans 9 wins and 1 loss, and their only loss to L.B. Bell at Texas Stadium right here 4 games ago. MacArthur Cardinals 7 wins and 3 losses, and of course finishing runner-up to Duncanville in District 8-5A, and they have won 2 straight against Mansfield, and of course the big win over Duncanville to finish out the season. It'll be an interesting style offensively. The wishbone offense from Trinity High School. The only time that MacArthur saw that all year was against Richardson-Berkner, and they lost that game. And MacArthur runs out of the I formation. The only time the Trojans saw that all year was against Arlington. Now to bring you the play-by-play of tonight's game, Bob Berry.
Thank you very much, and here we go. Chris Henderson all ready to boot it off. The Trojans won the toss. They elected to receive, and here is the high end-over-end kick. Coming down and taken on the 12-yard line. The Trojan running back to the 30, the 35, and driving all the way out to the 38-yard line is B.J. Weaver. Good return by Weaver. This is the same young man who scored a touchdown against the Cardinals in the playoff, as Brian told you, almost a year ago today. Had a 1-yard dive, and that accounted for the lone touchdown as far as the Trojans were concerned in last year's playoff game. So it's 1st and 10 for the Trojans. They'll spot it on the 39-yard line, and they're going to use the wishbone running attack. Schultz is the quarterback. That is Coy Parker in motion. The handoff goes to the fullback, Weaver, across the 40, out to the 42-yard line. Nothing fancy that time as they ran it straight up the gut for a gain of 3. 2nd and 7. Offensively, for the Trojans, the backfield consists of their quarterback, number 12, Darren Schultz. The left halfback is number 14, John Skinner. B.J. Weaver is the fullback. The right halfback is Sonny Pitcher, number 25, and he alternates with number 27, Coy Parker. 2nd and 7 this time. It is Pitcher in motion, and again they go to Weaver, and Weaver goes to the 45, and no more than that.
Nice
gain, 1 more of 3.
Excuse me, Bob. Nice defensive play up front for the Cardinals, and the front 4 will have their hands full with this wishbone attack. Fleshman and Zamorano at the tackle should see a lot of Mr. Weaver up front.
3rd and 4, the first 2 offensive plays going into the middle, and that always makes you think they're going to start running the ends, but we'll have to wait and see. Again, Schultz is the quarterback, and he can run as well as pass. Schultz with it. Now Schultz carrying, going to the outside, looking for a pitch man, can't find him, and he has stopped short of the first down. Carried it out to about the 47.5-yard line, but he had to get out to the 49, and it was defensed very well by the Cardinals.
Ned Delane on the stop right about the time he made the turn, and Schultz isn't afraid to run as he rushed for over 600 yards.
Brad Riddell is the kicker extraordinaire for the Trojans. He does it all. Right now he'll be punting, but he'll also go for point afters, kickoffs, and field goals. It's a low snap, but a good kick away. That's going to come down and bounce on the 20, and taken by a Cardinal running back right there, and he has screamed. Quincy Edwards taking it, and really that was a good play by Quincy, because if he had allowed the ball to roll, it could have been touchdown inside the 5-yard line. So he took the punishment as they grabbed the ball, and then he was really belting. Cardinals will put it in play, 1st and 10 on their 12-yard line. And let us quickly identify the Cardinals for you. In the backfield, we'll have the quarterback, number 7, Toby Richardson. The tailback is number 8, Reggie Finch. Brad Knaus, the fullback, number 22. The wingback is Darren Arterberry. Out of the I formation, they go to the second man. for a gain of about 1 yard on the play. The handoff that time to the tailback, Reggie Finch, and not much there.
Defensively for Trinity, Michael Hicks and Jimmy Williams, the tackles, as we said, on the other side for the Cardinals. Those two will be fairly busy. They're going to have to contain up the middle on Finch, but he has that breakaway speed to get outside as well.
Hillman Johnson just brought a play in from the bench. The pitch out to Reggie Finch. Tries to go wide, and he is contained as he's hit on the 15-yard line. Just some very fine defensive play that time by the Trojans, who swarmed all over Reggie. Reggie Finch last year in this playoff game went on to score a touchdown on about a run of 30 yards. He was a sophomore then. Obviously, he's a junior now, and he has really been a very fine running back for this Trojan team. Third down and a bunch. They've got 3rd and 8. Again, they show I formation. Richardson can pass, but he's also a very good runner. The delay, Finch looks for something, tripped up, he's going to be dropped for a loss, and is back at about the 14-yard line.
That is Michael Hicks, who got the initial trip in the backfield before Vance Birchfield, the middle linebacker, was able to make the tackle for the loss of a yard, and 3 quick plays to Finch, and the Cardinals are going to have to kick it away.
John Bryant to do the punting. The lone safety will be Adian Baker. Bryant standing just about on the 1-yard line. Trojans don't show that they're going to put on a rush. Looks like they'll make a return. There's the left-footed boot, and a good one, coming out to about the 40-yard line, the 45, where it's taken by Baker, and he gets around a swarm of would-be tacklers before he is popped down on the 40-yard line. Good return by Adian Baker. It did not look as if he would be able to get anything at all. He was surrounded by white jerseys, but just got away from them before he was popped down on the 39. So the exchange of punts works out very well indeed for the Trojans. They gave the ball up on about their 48-yard line. Now they get it back on the Cardinal 39. It'll be 1st and 10 from that point. Neither team as yet has picked up an initial first down in this game. Schultz rolling down, looks to pass, and is just overwhelmed as he tried to get the ball away, and he is creamed. The pass, of course, goes incomplete. He had sent a receiver down wide at about the 15-yard line, but that young man was covered very well indeed, John Skinner. This is Schultz as he's rolling out. He's looking for Skinner, and whammo, you talk about taking a hit.
Yeah. Delane right there to make the stop, and they had tried to get Skinner out of that wishbone set down the sideline, but pretty good coverage that there. More importantly, Delane had the heat on Schultz.
That's Ned Delane, one of the outside linebackers for the Cardinals, and that's one of the strengths of this team. Good linebackers. Here is the delay, and a nice cross counter. Taking the ball and going for a first down is Sonny Pitcher. Pitcher all the way down inside the 30 to about the 28-yard line. That should be enough for the first, and it is, and it's the initial first down in the game. A cross buck with a fake to one man and then handed off to Pitcher coming across the line of scrimmage. And he moved against the flow and really found himself a good hole and took advantage of it. So the Trojans trying to generate something here. The ball to Weaver. Not much at all as he went off the left side of the line for a haps for 2 yards, but realistically, let's just call that about a yard and a half.
The thing that makes the wishbone so difficult to defense, obviously it is a run-oriented type of offense and 3 good runners back there, but with the triple option threat and a guy like Schultz who can throw the ball very well, you can't get too lazy in the secondary waiting on him to throw the ball.
True indeed. Schultz, by the way, comes from a football family. His older brother had played quarterback for this team. Schultz on the keeper. Gets some penetration as he moves down to the 20-yard line. That time it looked as if he had just made up his mind. He wasn't going to look for any pitch man. He was just going to run for some yardage. And he carries it down to the 20, where we'll have a 3rd down and about 2 to go. So a good carry by Schultz.
It'll be interesting along the game to see how well the Cardinals adjust to the wishbone. As we mentioned, they've only seen it once back in the Berkner game, and that was the 3rd game of the year.
And a game in which they really took their lumps, if memory serves me correctly. Here is Schultz with the ball. A handoff to Weaver. He should have enough for the first down as he's down to about the 17-yard line. First down indication by the official, and the Trojans put it in play as they've now moved for 2 first downs down to the 17. Trojan player a little slow in getting up. That was B.J. Weaver, but he's okay. Goes back into the huddle. Carpenter, Flashman, Jamarano, and Ferguson, the front four defensively for the Cardinals. Schultz with the ball. The handoff goes to the left half and just losing his footing as he started diving across. And a fumble on the play. Let's see if the Cardinals got it. Let's see what the call will be. Apparently, he bobbled the ball after he came down. Sonny Pitcher was the running back. Ball down at the 13-yard line.
We'll get a look at it again, but the officials are going to say that Pitcher was down on the ground when he tossed the ball up. Right there, yes,
he was. Good call. Good call by the officials. Second and about 6 from the 13-yard line. The wishbone moving well against this Cardinal defense. Here is Schultz, the keeper. Bobbles it up, loose ball. Who's got it? Big pile up. I think the Cardinals have recovered, but let's wait and see.
It looks like Chris Henderson, the strong safety, is going to get the turnover at about the 11-yard line, and he does.
So there is the first turnover in the game, and a real demoralizing one as far as the Trojans are concerned. Chris Henderson was Johnny on the spot, as you'll see it again. Here is Schultz, knocked loose from the ball right into the paws of Henderson, who fell on it. What a break for Ray Overton's Cardinals. They've got it 1st and 10 from their own 10-yard line. The handoff this time, Brad Knaus keeps on going and across the 20, out to the 22, but they say that his knee touched down on the 20-yard line.
Boy, what a workhorse Knaus is. He's only carried the ball 69 times this year, and obviously Reggie Finch is the runner that's going to get it the most, 185 carries, but Knaus makes the most of his when he gets it.
He definitely is. He is a very solid fullback because he's an excellent blocker. And when he gets that opportunity to carry the ball, he can do a very good job. Finch that time, a little bit of sidestepping as he comes out to the 24-yard line. That will be the first down as far as the Cardinals are concerned. And it gives them a little bit of breathing room out on their 24. Reggie Finch and Brad Knaus, the running backs. Coming in with a play is Eddie Palmer. Palmer in a split-end position. Trey Shoemake split out on the other side. This time it is Knaus. Boy, and he doesn't take much. He gets a lot of punishment, doesn't get much yardage. Maybe about 2.5 on the play as he took it straight up the middle.
Vance Burchfield and Jeff Kowalski to make the stop for Trinity, and the running up the middle very tough against the Trojans front four, and the linebackers see a lot of action, very active on the runs, especially on those sweeps around Kowalski, the defensive end.
From the I formation, this is Hillman Johnson going in motion to the far sideline, long count. Shoemake rolls to his right, looks upfield. Remember, he can run, and that's what he's going to do. The 30, the 35, hit as he comes up to the 37-yard line. No flags on the field. It's another first down for the Cardinals.
Well, you mentioned he can run. He doesn't mind to do it, and he is just as much of a threat as he is to throw the ball because he has a sensational arm. And Richardson has rushed for over 500 yards, almost 4 yards a carry. He was trying to get the ball downfield, but pretty good coverage, and just went behind the block of Reggie Finch for the first down.
Cardinals have it on their 38-yard line. The ball given to Knaus, hit right at the line of scrimmage. That was the quick handoff to Knaus with the fake of a pitch out to Finch. But the center of the defensive alignment there, Michael Hicks, Jimmy Williams in on the stop. Defensively for the Trojans, they play a 4-3, as do so many of the pro teams. Gingras, Williams, Hicks, and Kowalski. Their front four, Kroll, Birchfield, and Bowen, are their linebackers. Second down, the pitch out to Finch, timed it very well. Reggie pulls over one would-be tackler across the 45, out to about the 46-yard line.
Well, the thing that made that work so well was the defensive end for Trinity, Peter Gingras, coming in on Richardson, and he committed himself, and that was about the time that Finch went to Finch, and he was able to turn the corner.
Third down and a long one, say the officials. Ball just shy of the 47-yard line. They give it to Finch. He's got the first down and plenty. Reggie with some stutter stepping. He's off to the races and brought down on a perhaps It's a touchdown-saving tackle that time. Oh, big stop by Mike Fondra, but not before Finch really carried the ball. We're going to show this one to you again. This is what makes Reggie Finch such a dynamic running back.
Well, just a great piece of running right in the middle right there, and he was gone down the sideline. Once he gets open, he has tremendous speed.
All the way down to the 33-yard line it goes. That's a gain of about 20 on the play. Another first down for the Cardinals. Tillman Johnson in motion. The draw to Reggie Finch down to the 30. Nothing very fancy. This is typical Ray Overton football. Just good, keeping on the ground football, and that's the way that Ray really likes to play it. He never saw a game where he didn't think that the run was really better than the pass, but that also sets up the passing attack because Toby Richardson has a very strong arm, as Brian mentioned, and he has accuracy. And they've got some excellent receivers. Here's the pitch back to Finch. Got some blocking. Tries to get away from Fondra. Can't do it. And he's bumped out of bounds at about the 29-yard line. Mike Fondra coming in from that left cornerback position. That's the second time he's put the hit on Reggie Finch.
Eddie Palmer, the wide receiver, was trying to get the block out there, and that is the key on the pitch outside to Finch on a play like that, is the wide receiver able to turn his man inside, and Eddie Palmer had a little bit of trouble that time. Finch couldn't get outside.
3rd and 6 coming up for the Cardinals. Of course, a big play here. Do we smell a pass to the halfback? Nope. Broken play, by the way, as the flags go down. Finch is hit and dropped. But one of the Cardinal offensive linemen jumped off ahead, and I'm sure they're going to call this against the Cardinals. Motion penalty against the Cardinals. The question is, will they say that the play actually took place? And apparently they did. So I would assume now that the Trojans are going to take the play because there was no gain whatsoever on the play. And that's exactly what's going to happen. It brings down a 4th down situation. Perhaps an attempt at a field goal. I don't know. Ball on the 29-yard line. I don't see Chris Henderson in there, so you just have to believe that the Cardinals are going to go for that first down.
Well,
about 6 yards. Right?
It would be, Bob, about a 46-yard try. Henderson has the leg to make that, and obviously the wind not a factor here, but Coach Ray Overton says the momentum's with them. They'll go.
Let's see if they give it on a pass play to Trey Shoemake. Here's Richardson rolling out. Got a man, and he overthrew him down on the 15-yard line. The pass intended for Shoemake, but it was overthrown. So that's the first time there's Trey.
You had the play called perfectly. Shoemake was running in behind a receiver that had cleared it out down around the 15, and he was open. But you're right, Toby Richardson just had some trouble finding him out there in the flats and overthrew him. That would have been enough for the first down.
We're going to show you a replay here shown from the end zone. I don't know whether you can see that Shoemake is open from the shot, but I'll tell you one thing. Richardson could have really run with this ball and perhaps picked up a first down. Yeah, he really overthrew him, didn't he? And that's a tough pass to make. So the Trojans hold, and they'll see what they can do with the ball. Here is Schultz really being pressured in trouble, and down he goes all the way back on the 21-yard line. Oh, big defensive play that time by the Cardinals, and coming in was Ned Delane from his linebacker position. Delane really putting the hit on Schultz. That's the second big stop by Delane so far in this game. Look at this one. Ned held his position. That's what makes the play. He stood just in his territory and didn't commit himself until he realized that Schultz had the ball, and then he was all over the quarterback. A loss of 8 yards. Second down, Schultz back. He's got men open. Looks to throw. Is going to be hit and dropped. Back on the 17-yard line.
John Ferguson with great pressure to get the sack, but Bob, the thing that's making that work up front is outstanding coverage in the secondary. Henderson doing a nice job when they were trying to go deep.
Definitely, and also out there was Quincy Edwards. They had a receiver downfield, but he was double-teamed. Suddenly Schultz realized, well, I'm not going to get it to that guy, and before he could make another decision, he was down. A loss of 4 more, 3rd and 22. Nothing very fancy here. They give to the second man through, and he's up to the 23-yard line. So they were playing it kind of close to the vest. B.J. Weaver that time. And the Cardinal defensive unit really can take a bow. because we come up here with a fourth and about a 14 situation. Certainly it would make you think that the Trojans will punt this one away. And that's going to be the end of the quarter. The first quarter comes to an end. MacArthur nothing and Trinity nothing. And we'll be back in just a moment.
I saw there was an image behind drinking, the people that drank, that they looked older and sophisticated.
I was 11 when I lost my virginity to a guy. I was 17. I was drunk.
Sometimes I'd sleep in the woods. If I didn't sleep in the woods, I slept on the corner. If I didn't sleep on the corner, I slept at someone's house who I didn't even know.
Hey, yo, alcohol is a drug, and you can get hooked on it. And the younger you start, the more damage you can do.
If you want to be somebody, have a family, have a future, just say no.
Say no and say yes to your life.
Here we go, all set to do the punting will be Brad Riddell. Quincy Edwards and Mel LeMaine are the two deep men hoping to return this kick. The last time they really couldn't do much at all. Riddell under some pressure, but a beautiful kick. Down it comes to Delane. Fumbles the ball. Let's see who's got it. I think a Cardinal player recovered. Oh, what a break. But let's see. They're still hustling for it. The Cardinals, I do believe, got that football. What a break for the Cardinals.
Wow, that is a huge break. You know, John Riddell, the head coach for Trinity, was saying that, here's a look at it again, we'll see. It looked like Trinity had a great angle on it after it was coughed up right there.
Very nice recovery indeed. That time, I believe that is Sergio Reyes.
Yeah, what a great save. And Riddell was saying that they had no big breaks in last year's game, and that may be what cost them.
Right. Well, Sergio Reyes really helps that time. And an offside's going to be called against the Cardinals. Chris Germany way offsides. So step off 5. Chris a little anxious that time as he was moving from his right tackle position. First and 15 for the Cardinals. Awfully lucky that Reyes was able to recover that loose ball. See if the Cardinals open it up a little bit now. Long count here by Toby Richardson. The pitch back goes to Finch. Looks for a block. Gets one. He's to the 35, to the 40. Turns the corner. A flag is down, however. Here is Finch going and is brought down at about the 17-yard line, but I think we're going to have a clipping call against the Cardinals. Let's wait and see. Flag thrown back on about the 38-yard line.
I think Lynn Carter may be the one that's going to be guilty of a clip that'll rub out a tremendous run of some 50-plus yards by Reggie Finch.
Well, that's a heartbreaker for Reggie, because that clip was thrown after Reggie had cleared the area. The man who was bumped had no opportunity whatsoever to stop Finch. Let's see if we can pick up the infraction as they're going to step off the yardage against the Cardinals. Now, it's away from the ball, so we don't have it here. But you can see it wasn't anyone who was trying to stop Finch who was impeded with. Heck of a run by Reggie Finch. Boy, he is always a threat. And the Trojans, remember last year when he ran about 30 yards for a touchdown down the near sideline that just spelled their demise, because it was a 9-7 ball game, and then Finch went to work and just sealed their fate. First and 18 for the Cardinals. This is Hillman Johnson in motion. Again, they go to Finch. Got some running room. Drives his way out to the 35-yard line. So he picked up about 8 yards on the play, and that'll give him a 2nd and 10. Reggie Finch running very well off the left side of that line behind the blocks of Carter and Perez. Offensively, and the line, Paul Pascal, Terry Burnett, Mark Gibson, Len Carter, Chris Germany, and Andy Perez are alternating. Richardson looks to pass, got the man open. Here's the pitch back on the lateral, the pitch, but they smelled it out and stopped him after a gain of about 1 yard. The pass completed to Trey Shoemake, who then lateraled it back to pitch, the trailing back, and give him a yard gain on the play, and that's it. If memory serves me correctly, that is Toby Richardson's second pass attempt, the first completion. For just about 1 on the play. Boy, that didn't take the Trojans by surprise at all. It looked as if they were anticipating that pass, as well as the lateral. Big rush on Richardson. The hole opens, and off to the races goes Brad Knaus. He's awfully close to a first down. I think he's shot. Oh, a fumble, they say, and the Trojans have recovered. That's Darren Arterberry. I credit it to Knaus. It was not. Darren Arterberry, the running back, got about 10 on the play and then coughed up the football.
Well, they took it right away from him, Bob, because there was a huge hole for him right up the middle, and right there is just taken right out of his hands.
Exactly.
Peter Gingras, the defensive end.
How about that for theft? Talk about a pickpocket. Peter Gingras taking it right out of Arterberry's hands. Very heads-up play by Gingras. So the Trojans come rearing back. Here is Schultz going to be stopped after he gets about 1 on the play. Roland Zamorano, first defender in on the play, was dragging him down from behind. Good ball hawking by Zamorano.
Well, he played the option very well. His man was pulling to the right side to help Schultz on the quarterback option, and that time Zamorano showing outstanding quickness and speed to get into the backfield and get the trail and the tackle.
Zamorano, a junior, at 195. Schultz looks to pass, got some running room going deep downfield. It is overthrown and incomplete, and no flags on the play. So that's just proof that you can pass out of the wishbone, but generally speaking, when you do, you've got to roll out to one side. Not much chance of dropping back and passing. Schultz that time dropping and rolling to the right, planting the foot and then throwing down to the intended receiver, but he overthrew him, and head coach John Riddell awfully upset.
Well, the ball was intended for Brad Riddell down the sideline, but pretty good coverage.
Trojans going to call a timeout here. Apparently, Darren Schultz and head coach John Riddell not too sure on the play. Not that Schultz was questioning it, but I think after he had gotten some words from head coach Riddell and started back in, John Riddell realized that perhaps they would not have time to get that play off. And rather than take a 5-yard penalty, they'll take the timeout, which is the first as far as either team is concerned. That timeout chalked up to the Trojans. Third down and about 8 yards to go. The ball on the 45-yard line. Very even game thus far. Trojans had a big fumble that took them away from a scoring opportunity when they were down inside the 15-yard line, only to cough that ball up. Schultz losing it. And then the Cardinals reciprocating when Arterberry had one taken right out of his mitts. Officials want to make sure that everything is set. Now they're satisfied it is, and they whistle the play in. Schultz this time under some pressure, trying to get outside and can't do it. Credit the big rush that time, boy. Chris Marshall put a big rush on him. He got away from Chris, but then other defenders came in and really put the hit on him. Mike Edwards also.
Well, the thing that's got to work
very well here.
Yeah, for an offense like this is the quarterback has got to be able to run if they're going to run that wishbone to take some heat off the tailbacks. That time they were split out.